Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 9. We're over here in the Wastelands build. Surprise! Basically for you and me both, essentially. I hadn't really planned to be back over here. I was planning on spending this entire episode in the Lumostone Castle and just kind of wrapping that up in a nice little bow and getting that off to you guys so you can go over and have a look at it. And we will get there. We will get over there in today's episode. I have some plans and I have some really cool little things that I want to show you guys and I want to build. So like I said, we will get over there in just a second. Now, why I wasn't planning on being in the Wastelands today is, of course, I've been away. I was overseas and I haven't had a chance to do what I needed to do, and that is to collect gravel. Now, thankfully, some really awesome members of the community have come along and helped. So I need to say a huge thank you to Egam, Alphanumeri, Whirling Wind, and most of all, Kadrya. Now, everybody else, the top three came along and they gave me a couple of thousand gravel each, which is really appreciated. Thank you so much, guys. But Kadrya has come along and given me a double chest and a half. I think it's actually like a double chest and 3/4 worth of gravel. Like, this is just a mind-blowing amount of gravel. So thank you, Kadrya. That is going to really help this build. And in fact, we may actually have enough gravel to finish this guy off now. Like, if we come over here and have a look at how much gravel we have stored up, we may actually have enough to finish this off. And that is really exciting. So that's why we're over here. We're going to try and finish this in today's episode. And if we can do that, we might even manage to finish 2 whole builds in today's episode, which will be really exciting. So as you can see, top chest here, completely full of gravel. And this chest over here, almost full of gravel. That's like half full of gravel, and I think I had gravel. Yeah, there we go. There's more gravel down in here as well. So I've got about, I think like 2 and a bit chests of gravel if I kind of stacked it all together and worked with it. So we have a lot of gravel going on. I am going to start placing that down. I think I'm going to spare you guys most of the placing down efforts. What I'm going to say is that a lot of this area down over here is going to be lower in the ground than the rest of this kind of like ground level. So there's going to be lots of dips and valleys and things going on. Obviously we've got a nice little valley happening kind of naturally out here, which I do need to build out further and raise back up to the level of the edge world. So the world edge here, it needs to be flat. Everything around the edge needs to be this kind of this perfect level, except for this edge, which had to be raised up by 1 block just so that I could fit in 1 block, 2 blocks, 2 blocks, so that I could fit in my little smuggler's den in underneath it. But I think I've kind of covered that well by having the hill right up against the edge of the world here. But yeah, so that's kind of the plans. I don't really have anything too exciting to say about this. It is just going to be a whole bunch of placing down gravel, almost randomly, building little crevices in the ground and building those back up to actual ground level, and just kind of roughing the terrain out so that things aren't quite as nice and even. Still kind of like this little hillock that we built over here, so we might have to build a couple more kind of smaller hillocks, but we definitely need to tidy all of this stuff away because that just looks atrocious where I built it out of part blue sand and part dirt. Sorry, blue grass and part dirt, so it's grown back and become orange. Yeah, so lots of stuff to do today. Let's get cracking. So this is coming along really quite well. As you can see down here, we've got a whole bunch of this back corner and most of this side all done and dusted already. So if we just fly down here a little bit, you can see we're doing a little bit of work, adding some kind of valleys and another little hillock over there. I also kind of built the gravel up to the base level of this little landmark that we created ages and ages ago, because I figured we kind of needed a little bit of gravel up over that way. But for the most part, there's not a whole lot I can talk about here. We're just gonna kind of fly around it a little bit and let you guys have a look at what I've been doing. It's all just been done as I've seen and as I've shown and yeah, done before with the boots of placing. So I basically just fly down to the lowest point, place down some gravel, and then just kind of walk my way around in rings up and yeah, just kind of fill it out that way. There are some points where I do interesting other things like overhangs and obviously like thicker patches and stuff, but for the most part I don't really plan any of this. It's just a lot of freeform. So like when I did this raised section, I originally just kind of did a run around here, all the way out over to this point here, and then I wasn't really sure exactly how that was going to merge back in, so I just kind of started placing blocks down and see what was going on. Just kind of yeah, let the boots do their thing. I ended up with a nice little merge, I think. So there we go. This is like I said, I think anyway, coming along quite well. So I'm going to stop talking and keep placing gravel, because we've got a lot more gravel to go. As you can see, we have a load of stuff over there that we need to get done yet. So I'm not sure now if I'm actually going to get all of this done, because this has taken a couple of hours to get everything placed down. So we may not be able to finish this in today's episode as much as I really hoped I could. We might have to head on over to the Lumostone Island pretty soon, and we'll come back here in a couple of days or so, or next week I should say. It'll be a couple of days for me, it will be next week for you guys by the time the video goes out and all of that stuff. But yeah, so got a lot of space to cover, and I think the biggest thing for me right now is just working out where I'm doing valleys and where I'm doing hills, and just yeah, kind of checking it all out basically, and just deciding on how this place goes. Anyway, we'll make a quick cut, I'll add some more gravel down, and we'll see where we go from there. So I maybe got a little bit carried away with what I was doing. Now you guys have already seen kind of this little sinkhole over the back here next to the cave, and this little section over here which we did up before the last cut. Now I did mention that I kind of wanted to kind of move up the side slowly but surely there. Yeah, like I said, I got a little bit carried away. Let's take a look. Bam! Check it out. We have this entire side done. Now, as you can see, I've changed up the style a little bit. Well, I'm not sure if you can see, but I'm going to point it out to you anyway. So over here we've got nice, lots and lots of tiny little rings. So as you can see, you know, I've got lots of layers, and each layer is only kind of 2 blocks deep, 3 blocks deep, that type of thing. And there's kind of interesting other little bits like this random ring in here that doesn't really exist for any particular reason other than I felt like putting it in. Whereas over here, as I was doing things, as you can see, that same style started over here, and then I changed my mind. I had a few people come over and ask if they could help out, and I had a very good idea in my mind of what I wanted the whole time, and I've tried to explain to somebody, it didn't really work, and then as I've been moving and doing things, the idea changed anyway. So as you can see, as we get over here, we've got lots more like long sweeping sections, and even when we get over to this like canyon here, and I've missed a section with my gravel, so I'm just going to place another block down in here. So as you can see over here, so even in the canyon, we've got kind of like nice runs of just big flat sections of gravel that don't really conform to that same pattern. So they're a little bit different and unique, and they fill the space out quite well, I feel. So we're going to keep with all of this type of stuff. As you can see, I'm still not quite finished yet. We've got a run up the side over here, and we've got a huge section out the back to go, but I still have lots of gravel. This isn't all the gravel I have. This is actually Animus QT came over and dropped off a bunch of stuff for us as well, so we definitely have enough gravel to finish this. We've only got that small corner to go, and I think I've still got a double chest's worth of gravel, so we're definitely good to go. This is actually going to be finished in this episode. I also, while I was off camera, I did a little bit of messing around with a different idea I want to try out on the Lumostone display island. Now, we're going to head over there in just a minute after this place is actually done. So we're going to finish this up now because I am so close. We might as well get it finished and done and dusted. And then once we've done that, we're going to head over to the Lumostone island. And there's a few little bits and pieces I want to try out over there. Throw a couple of them up on camera and, you know, get you guys to tell me what you think of them. And then once I've got a bit of an impression of what you guys think, we'll go from there. I'm still kind of like on the borderline as to whether or not I actually want to add them into the island. So that's the next thing we're going to be doing after we finish off this island. Because as I said, look at this, we're so close to being done. Let's just push through, finish this guy off, and then we can move on. Oh my god, it is done! Check it out, we have a full Wastelands build. Well, we have a full gravel pad for the Wastelands build. There's just one little thing, or two little things I actually want to finish off around here before we move on. So those are more trees. So as you can see, we've got our nice little tree up over here, and also a glorious cache. Now, I can't actually make the large blacksmith's chests at the moment, which means that I need to use a small one, and I need to find somewhere to put it. Part of me wants to put it up here on this mountain, but that kind of fills up this back corner really, really well. And it leaves this bottom corner over here with absolutely nothing in it. So, I don't know, we might end up taking it all the way over here and just putting a little, like a small little something over here that leads down into, yeah, getting the glorious cache. Now, at the moment, the only real way I can see to have an entrance into this place that people can then get back out of is maybe with crumbling blocks. Or maybe I can do what has been done before and kind of like have a bit of a cross pattern with crumbling blocks, and then you can jump back up out through the holes maybe. I also don't have a whole lot of room in under here. If I actually drop here and just quickly chew a hole in the floor that are very carefully placed down, if we dive in underneath the world, you can see I don't have a lot of space in under here before I hit the bottom of the world. Like, this is the bottom of the world. Oh, okay. I have a little bit more space than I was expecting, but I don't really have all that much. I guess it's, yeah, the bottom of the crevice over there is getting pretty close to the bottom of the world. So I'm just going to quickly fix that hole up. Now, that's the other thing I do need to go through and do. I do need to run around here and check that and make sure that I haven't left any holes in this thing. The map is pretty good at showing you where you've left holes, especially when you're doing a build like the way I've done it, because if you do leave a hole, it kind of shows you a nice little black dot, kind of like that, but that one's not going to be a hole because that's right on the middle of the island, so that's probably just an intentional gap that I've left. But if you saw like a little pixel like that anywhere else on the map, that would be a hole right through to the underside of the island, so that would be a definite hole that would need to go through and get patched up. But it seems as though I've done a relatively good job keeping the holes to a minimum around here, so that's nice. Always a good thing to see that happening. I don't see any right now, so I'm just gonna, like I said, quickly float around here. Always need to do a little bit of quality assurance, just make sure that I have indeed got this entire island completely done and dusted. Well, done and dusted in terms of having gravel placed down. Then once I know that for sure, that's when we'll go through and we'll do the glorious cache. And I think we'll do the glorious cache and the trees right now. And once we've done those, maybe we'll get over to the Lumostone Island. Maybe we won't. This has taken a very, very long time this week to get all of this gravel done. So, I mean, it hasn't made for quite. It wouldn't have made for quite the best footage if I'd recorded me doing all of this. So this episode is going to be a little bit shorter, mostly just because it's taken a lot of time to get even this far. Here we go, edging ever and ever closer to completion. So if we head all the way over here, you can see what I've done up for the glorious cache. So we've got some nice crumbling blocks around the top. And then if we have a look down inside, you can see we've got two spring traps down there. And now these spring traps line up exactly with these holes. If I actually like fly my way on down, because normally you would be able to just like stand on those crumbling blocks and drop. You can see we've got like a nice little waterway, and then we have our one hidden glorious cache over here, which I can open, but of course people coming to the island won't be able to open. And if I quickly take off my Flight Master Furnace, because it is fractured so it will break, you can actually get back out of here by standing on these guys and just kind of waiting until you hit almost the top and then moving sideways. So yeah, perfection. That has worked out really, really well. Now, I was going to kind of put something around the edge of this, like most of the glorious caches have, but I have a feeling that the spring trap system is going to interfere with that. Now, if I was actually having full rights to build this as an actual adventure world, I wouldn't use the spring traps. I would use just the crumbling blocks, maybe in a grid type pattern, and then leave it alone, because yeah, like you could just like build your way out basically. But in this version, in the public island, you're not going to be able to build your way out, so spring traps are needed to get yourself back out again. And yeah, because of those, you kind of need a bit of space around here that you can land on, and everything going to be okay. So I'm not going to build anything around it. Also, it would be a little bit of a dead giveaway considering its position on the map. So it's one of those things where I want it to be like a regular glorious cache, where you need to kind of be wandering around and actually looking at things and just kind of randomly stumble upon it. Whereas if I'd actually built a building there, it would be pretty obvious from the start, or even from the entrance to the main location over here. So we just stand over here, point our mouse that way. Yeah, you can see the little plateau where it's sitting. So if I'd actually built something there, like I said, it would be very, very obvious as to exactly what is going on. So the next thing I want to go through and do is add down a couple more trees. Now I'm not sure what type of wood I've got in this tree here. Let's just quickly grab a block out of that and check it out. Ah, it is ashwood, right. So I've got some ashwood with me. I think down in the chest that I was storing everything in. Actually, that reminds me, that's another thing I need to do. I need to go through and remove the chests that are down here. Because I don't really want them in the world. They, like everything in this world, should be findable and should be usable by the player. So these guys down here, all of this stuff needs to be removed because it's not actually a place you can get to without having build rights and build permissions. So we might grab a hold of all of this stuff in just a little bit here and take it home with me before I republish this island and get everything sorted. We might also, just thinking about it, I think I also missed out on placing a few chests down in here. So these are the final, like, kind of few finishing touches we're going to do before this island goes public. We're going to add some chests down into the smuggler's den. We're going to move all of this stuff, and we're going to place a few trees down. So let's just quickly go down into this bottom chest, see what we have. So I do have some moonwood, and I do have some ashwood, so perfect. We've got enough building materials to go through and do some more of that. Also, I have a whole bunch of things set up in the main location here where the bandits craft all of their stuff. So we're going to go in there, build up a few more moonwood blocks because I want to do a couple of these trees out of moonwood. And then we'll be right to go. So I'm going to start crafting some stuff up, and I'll see you guys once we've made the final adjustments to this place. So we are so close. I've now gone through and removed all of those chests and the little loom that I had sitting down there. And I kind of thought that when we got to this point, it was going to be me kind of showing you around the leftovers of the island. And that would be it. We'd be done for today's episode. Now, unfortunately, what I've realized is that I actually collected up a whole bunch of stuff for this cave over here and never put it down. So if we actually have a look inside this cave is pretty bare and empty right now. If we come down here, we've got like one gem here, and we roll on down through here. We've got one gem in this big room. We've got nothing at all in the next room. And then when we head down into the final room, we actually have some gems down here. So that wasn't ever good enough. So I went through and added in the chests to the smugglers area, as I said I did, or as I said I was going to. So we've got a big end chest now, which is going to be the final chest for this area, and that's kind of weird. You can see sunlight through the wall. If you have a look at the chest on the corner as I swing around, you can get like a little bit of sunlight through the wall. Anyway, so in here we've got a whole bunch of bones and weird bug parts as well that we're going to throw down all through that cave. Now I've got a few kind of crystal formations and stuff, so we're gonna throw down a bunch of this stuff in there. Also left over a few bits and pieces, a couple of like wall mounted shields and things to go through the main location and add a couple of those down. So we should have enough stuff in here just to kind of finish this guy off good and proper. I'm not sure about these insect egg things. I might use a few of these, I might not. I don't really know. It's basically going to be a case of placing them down, seeing what they look like, and going from there, basically. I know the other ones, like the little hive vents and the larger kind of like egg funnel things will look alright. Like these guys over here, the hive vent large, these are going to look okay. But I'm really, like, because they look kind of stony, but I'm really not sure how the actual eggs themselves are going to look. They may look a little out of place. I don't know, we'll leave that guy there and see what we think when we come back to that a little bit later on. I also, like I said, I want to put some of these crystal formations down around the place too, just to give a bit of light in some areas of the cave. So here we go, we'll put another one up in the roof here, and we'll put a few of them down in the gem location down here, because of course that would be fitting, considering that this is supposed to be a gem location. Which is good. These guys give off a lot of light, like a lot more light than I thought they were going to give off. So yeah, there you go. Oh, nice. I like that a lot. So let's throw down some red and grey, because that's what this area is supposed to be all about. So throw some up against the wall over here. There you go. Got not too bad a stack of these guys, actually. Throw some down on the floor as well. I'm trying my best to imitate the crystal caves that you get inside adventures, but I'm not really sure I've kind of got that. I think this room would have needed to be a bit bigger, kind of taller. The actual like length and depth of it seems about right, but yeah, it needs to be a little taller, I think. Oh well. Lessons learnt for next time, hey, because there will be a next time. I think that I want to continue on with the Wastelands at some point, because of course you can't just have one main location for a type of biome. You have to have a couple, so we're going to go through and do that at some point. But I've got other ideas that I want to do first, and of course we have Alpha 10 probably somewhere soon on the horizon, so we need to see what comes out in that and what we've got and what we can work with when that all comes out, and then we'll make some decisions from there as to what we go through and do. For the rest of this alpha though, I want to go through, change up the Lumostone Castle a little bit, just kind of finish that off and finalize that. Then we're going to go through and do a what I'm calling a Midwinter Down Under adventure, which is going to be taking the idea of Midwinter and making an Aussie themed version, essentially, because of course everything at the moment is very ice and snow and cold, but that's not how we celebrate Christmas, which is what Midwinter is based off of down in Australia. So I wanted to do something about that, make something a little bit different, and just add a bit of Australian flair, I guess, to the whole Midwinter event. So we're gonna try that out. Anyway, I'm gonna keep throwing eggs and stuff down, and we'll see how all of this stuff ends up. It's now done. Oh my god, it has taken a very long time, almost 2 alphas worth of time to get this guy finished, but it is now done. We are completely finished with the Wastelands build. So if we head over here, you'll have a look in this cave, and you'll see that this cave is just immensely better than it was before. So if we have a quick look down here, already it looks a lot better. We've just got a kind of scattering of bones and things around the place, and we head on down through, you'll see that this place looks really cool. This looks like a smallish little like gem area, and yeah, the addition of the lighting just really helps so much. We're going to head on through further down. You'll see we have like a nice big kind of bug and bone area, I guess is what I want to call this. So it looks like kind of a spot where a lot of bugs have been born and killed off a lot of people. And then we're going to head on down through even further, and we have our nice big open gem area. And it just, adding all of this stuff into here really does make this cave come alive, and it's worked out really nicely, I think. So I'm quite happy with that. And that's it. That means that the island is now done, because we've removed all of the excess stuff from down there. We've filled up the cave. I added a few little extra bits and pieces down into the canyon landmark here, and that was it. It was done. It was ready to be published. So that's what we're going to do right now here on camera. We're going to republish this island, because of course I have published it before, so I could run around and have a look at stuff like crumbling blocks and things. But here we go. This is it, the republish of the island, and it is now done. It is completely finished. We have a full Wastelands build done and dusted. I could not be happier with this. It's just it's finished. I can't believe it. It is now finally done, and everything is in place. Like, it now feels like it should be an actual adventure. So it's, like I said, it's completely finished. I really hope you guys come over here, have a bit of a mess around, have a bit of an explore and an adventure through everything I've done. For those of you who haven't seen everything, there's going to be, like everything I've done in video, there's going to be a few surprises. For those of you who have seen everything I've done in video, there might still be a few surprises around the place. Not many, obviously, but there might still be a few surprises around. So yeah, come and check this place out. It is Drax Forest Chasm, and I love it to pieces, obviously, because I've built it. But it's turned out quite well. So yeah, I hope you guys come over here and check this place out. Anyway, that is going to be the end of today's episode. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that one, and I will see you next week.